A rally on the Suncoast tonight as well. This one peaceful, though. About 40 people gathered at Fred Atkins Park in North Sarasota to protest the earlier shootings, and they say call for justice. At one point, the crowd went out onto the street on 301 for a short time until police asked them to move back onto the sidewalk. ABC 7's Bobeth Yates has more on tonight's local reaction.
Sadness, anger, and shock are among the emotions the community says they feel. And as they rally behind me calling for justice, many say the problem is much deeper.
When you see these type of shootings, it's always an African American male. I can't recall the last time I've seen, a police officer, shoot a white suspect.
Wayne Jenkins is calling attention to what many in the black community perceive as a systemic problem impacting African Americans all across the country.
It's grave concern. I have concern about that, not only for myself, but even for, friends, family, my kids. Are they going to be afforded that opportunity if they're ever in that situation to at least explain what's going on before, someone rushes to a quick judgment.
Jenkins believes for many African Americans, a law enforcement officer is not perceived as someone who helps, but instead someone who could possibly kill you. And during most of their interactions with law enforcement, that fear is in the back of their minds.
When you're traveling on the road and you observe a police officer and they pull behind you, there's that natural, fear or nerves that get riled as to why I'm being followed, if you're being followed, what's the reason. And if it goes so far as the traffic stop.
In the case of the Minnesota shooting, Philando Castile was allegedly stopped for a broken taillight, and he ended up dead.
Black people are not allowed to make the same mistakes that white people are without fear of being unjustly treated or being executed in the street by police without the due process that we all deserve as Americans.
Activist Shakira Rifos says part of the problem is the misconceptions many have about African Americans, that just because of the color of their skin, they are a threat.
Dehumanization of black people and black bodies is nothing new in our society. It's kind of partially what this country is partially built on. I think the police have are able to deal with diffusing situations a lot easier when they're looking at a white person than they are looking at a black person.
In the meantime, Jenkins says his fears are even more evident after the latest shootings.
Am I next, or is there someone I know next? Or, that's an everyday thought process. That's an everyday fear.
We did reach out to local law enforcement, but none of them were willing to comment on this topic. Bobeth Yates, ABC 7, your Suncoast News.